All right, folks, I think we are officially live. Welcome to this special live stream featuring Mutha Prepper. Mutha
Yeah.
Prepper, I'm a big fan of Mutha Prepper's work from your Instagram channel, Instagram page. You have all sorts of awesome preparedness things. It says, if this mama from the burb can prep and plan, you can too. And it's all about disaster readiness. And you have all sorts of fun photos and videos, TikTok style videos, and just various prepping tips. And so I just knew I had to have you on the live stream so we could chit chat. So again, welcome everyone to Mutha Prepper, and we're going to get going with this live stream. So welcome to the live stream.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm pumped.
I know we're having a little bit of network issues, so hopefully it resolves itself as we're talking. So
hopefully, and if
in the chat room, let us know if you could hear us in the chat room.
Perfect.
Oh, yes, a lot of stuff is running a little sluggish on my end. It looks like various folks are saying hi. Let's see. I'll do quick little shout outs to people. River Runner, how's it going? Let's see. Cross County Readiness, howdy. There we go. Yeah, I see a lot of folks. I think a lot of Mutha Prepper fans are in the audience today.
I'm so honored.
I was just on another live stream with Cascadia Dispatch, and looks like he popped over here too. So great, everyone. Yeah, we could hear you and see you. So hopefully the sound is good. The video may be a little choppy, but we'll do the best that we can. So as long as they can hear us. So
awesome.
Well, cool. I thought maybe to start off with is I've been a big fan of, I forget how I stumbled upon your Instagram page, but as soon as I found it, it's become like one of my go-to Instagram pages to go to. I love your presentation style, the way that you present preparedness in a real practical way that's relatable to normal people, because so often preppers are kind of they think about us like wearing camouflage and stuff. And while we do like doing that, we're also oftentimes, we have families and we have normal lives, and preparedness is just part of our regular routine. So I was kind of curious on your background into prepping, how you got started with it, and maybe start from there.
Yeah, I agree. So I think a lot of people, when they think prepper, they think of having like a bunker in the side of a mountain or underground. So I think that happens quite a bit. Did I lose you? Do I still have you here, by the way?
Oh, I'm still here. I just switched the camera angle up, so I'm still here. Don't worry.
But
I was trying to feature you like in full screen. So.
Okay, perfect.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna do it again really quick.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Obviously, I'm pretty new to the live, so bear with me, folks. But my journey to preparedness, I've always been interested, but I feel like my journey really started back in 2017. I'm in Northern California, and so we get kind of depending where you are, we get every kind of wild climate and weather. And so for my immediate area in 2017, we had heavy rains, and the levee of, the river that runs, near where we live was overflowing. And so there was really risk of those levees giving way. And although we weren't in the immediate risk zone, I remember thinking to myself, we have no plan. We have nothing. We have no exit plan. We have no evacuation route. So I found myself in a place, I don't want to say panic, but it was like this moment of realizing that I really have to get it together and figure out a plan. So that's kind of where it started. I've talked about it before. I think I made a post about it before, but my first journey into preparedness was really starting with bug out bags. And it seems to be a common place where people start. So I, made a list of things that each of my family member would need for their own evacuation bag. And I started at the dollar store because it's a gold mine of just things that you can find. So I started at the dollar store, and it was, strict budget, and it was really just evolving from there. And now it's grown into something that I'm quite proud about, because I feel like the more I talk to people who are just like me, living in suburbia, where it's not really top of mind, it's becoming a realization that more people should find ways to become prepared and self-reliant and just have a plan. I like to talk about it in the way that we've commonly accepted having insurance for a lot of things. You really want to think of preparedness as a means of having insurance. You hope you never need it, of course, but sure as hell glad that you have it, and your preps and your skills, so that if things hit the fan, you're a little bit ahead of the curve. So that's kind of been the journey so far. I still very feel new to this journey. So I'm always learning from people in the community, which has been a wealth of knowledge, and from amazing people who've been leading the way, just like yourself. So as I'm learning and sharing, as I'm sharing, I'm learning as well. So it's been a fun journey, and there is no end point. I think it's always evolving, but that's kind of been the story since 2017. And I became a parent since then, and it's really ramped up. So parenthood will do that to you. I think you just become more conscious of what your family needs, and
Yeah.
you kind of just build on that.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, in California, I saw on your Instagram that you're from California. So in the belly of the beast, where it's all stuff,
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff is going there for
Floods one day,
prepper
fires.
type stuff. Yeah, it's I've always been worried if I were to live in California, like the wildfires that happen over there would always probably worry me. In the Northwest, I'm always worried about earthquakes, and I'm sure you are too, being in the kind of the ring of fire zone over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that family prepping and prepping. First off, congratulations for the newborn. I'm not sure how old your child is, but
She's
congratulations on
3
that.
now, so she can hold her
3.
own bag, hopefully, or we're getting there.
Okay, so yeah, I always found that that's like a hard. It's hard to really to do the family prepping because they're always growing and their needs change from a year to year basis. So the
Yeah.
type of medications that you might have in your bug out bag is going to be widely different than what they might want to have. So as far as
Yes.
even like pain medication or they're just going to have different things, and so their bug out bags are have to adapt fairly frequently as with if they have diapers or if their clothing sizes. So I always found when my kids are a little older now, so I don't have to worry about the diapers anymore. But I found that to be challenging, trying to keep their bug out bags uh, uh, dynamically changing as they grew.
Yeah. Yes. We were rotating. I think at one point I was rotating everything in her bag every quarter just to check, like, do I have enough of what she uses a lot of today? What size is she? So it was helpful. I think it's a helpful exercise in general to go through your preps and check your gear. You should
Yep.
always be rotating. And that's just one aspect, right? We're only talking about bug out bags. So it's a conscious effort. But with kids, it's tricky because just like you mentioned, are they in diapers? Do they need formula? Their medication is different. So it really forces you to become very familiar with your family's needs. So it's evolving.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm really glad that you got into prepping and you're bringing a whole new different side to things based off of your the things that are important for you and where you are regionally. And I think that you're a rapid riser in the community because the way that you present stuff, I get a big kick out of it.
Oh,
Let me see if I could share the. I
oh man.
now we were talking a little bit backstage, and you're one of the few preppers that does kind of the short type videos. I saw that Rogue Preparedness is in the audience too, and she also does it. But when are you going on TikTok? Because there's not a lot of preppers on
Oh,
TikTok, and you're already making TikTok style videos.
I just downloaded it. I had held off for a long time, and I know I shared this with you, but I held off
Yeah.
because all the social media platforms, I was telling myself if I download another one, I'm going to be out of a job because I'm not going to be spending a lot of time doing work through the day. I hear it's a rabbit hole. You just get sucked into all these different videos. It's a lot of fun. Um, but I definitely want to see how it is in TikTok and kind of the style there. But it's a great platform to share messaging. So I'm excited, but I'm also kind of
Yeah.
nervous. I don't know what rabbit hole this is going to be.
Yeah, there's a few preppers over there on TikTok. I have a dedicated TikTok phone, so like I have a few different phones, but this is my general social media phone, and
Ew.
then I have my TikTok phone because I still don't trust it because I don't want to give access to all my contacts and stuff. But I think that if you're already making the videos, there's not a lot of preppers there, and that means that there's a lot of people that are like totally new to preparedness, a younger generation, and I think the stuff that you've put out there would really resonate with people. It's you have a way of presenting it that makes it not scary, and I think that you'd be able to bring new preppers into the prepper community. So I'm pushing for. I'm hoping that your
Oh,
TikTok channel takes off.
team. It's a lot of fun. I try to keep. I'm first of all, I'm not well versed with YouTube, so everybody on
Yeah,
YouTube, I don't know how you do it. Bravo. I've tried it. I'm not great at it. So maybe one day I'll revisit. But the shorts and, you know, just kind of add my own personality to it has been a lot of fun. I find that there may be a lot of people who are just like me, where we have a lot of things to do and we probably, you know, have 1,000 things that command our attention. So I try to keep them short, you know, and add my own flair to it, because attention spans for a lot of people, especially now around the holidays, it's pretty short. So it's been a lot of fun, and finding ways to get a good laugh out of it myself. There are a lot of people that are making amazing content and contributing to the preparedness community. I also feel that a lot of this movement has been just normalizing preparedness and changing the narrative of the person in the bunker with like 80 tons of ammo and ready to go. So I feel like, I mean, although that's important, there are other aspects to preparedness that I think as people are sharing what's been working for them and how they're preparing for their family, it's very encouraging for a lot of different types of people who've maybe never thought of it before. So it's less of a challenge, and I feel like the apprehension to get started is dying down the more people are sharing how really easy it is to incorporate into your everyday life. That's my elevator pitch for normalizing preparedness.
That was great. You're a natural.
Thanks.
I saw someone in the chat room was making fun of our, I think my video's lagging a little bit, says that Tup needs to get asking for a 56K modem for Christmas as an upgrade.
Oh my God.
I don't know what's going on. If it's lagging a little bit, I apologize. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's the same computer I normally use for it. But yeah, I think that normalizing preparedness should be a goal of ours for a lot of us preppers, because I think I worry that oftentimes we scare away potentially awesome preppers from getting into it, because it scares them off when we start focusing too much on zombies. But again, I think the way that you do it it's fun. I like the comedy ones that you do. Those ones are a lot of fun for me. I saw some people someone was saying they don't support I don't do Instagram or TikTok, but yeah, I can understand why some want to get on TikTok for various reasons, but I also think that that's where there's people that aren't into prepping, and so I want to make sure that I help get them there. So
yeah, the platforms, the audience and the reach is going to vary by the platform. I think having a unified message and your own personal kind of brand on how you're delivering that, I think that's going to be widely accepted regardless of the platform. So I know there's always going to be another platform. So I feel like the more we can just share a lot of this normalizing prepping, just even if it's the platform you're familiar with, so whether it's Instagram or YouTube, I think the consistent message is really important. And I don't know if you've noticed, like in the Instagram circles, at least, there's been a huge movement, shameless plug, by the way, of hashtag women who prep, because I feel like it's super important. I'm constantly blown away at all of the ladies that have really taken the responsibility of leading a lot of these preparedness efforts. I think before, for me, a prepper was always a guy, right? Always just probably this lone wolf who goes hunting in the woods. And that was my snapshot of what a prepper was. But you'll see the women who prep is something that was the brainchild of 7 of my awesome preparedness ladies. We call ourselves the OG 7. It's a lot of fun. I've met some of my closest friends on Instagram through this platform, but it's a lot of fun, and it's normal stuff. It's showing how people are just taking the extra step to either can the food, have a garden, learn skills that they know will probably help them long term, whether it's food preservation, seed harvesting. I mean, the list goes on and on, but I'm always blown away at the community and how much it's grown, and how many people and families are actually prepping and not even knowing it. Like not even knowing, hey, I'm prepping. Yeah. I'm preserving food, and I'm teaching, my kids how to garden. Like that's a whole part of becoming self-reliant. So it's awesome. There's a lot of goodies in there. So I think you'd like it.
I just followed it. I've always been inspired by like uh, the moms that are like super into uh, the pantry organization. I like the organization type channels. Oftentimes they're moms that are home and they have awesome ideas that I try to roll into prepping. And so I'm looking forward to watching to following now this hashtag women who prep. So
Yeah.
I'm following it now. But yeah, I think again, I think those are new perspectives that 10 to 15 years ago, I think most of the preppers were all ex-military, like in the bushes, kind of in a cabin, and
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of new people, that potential preppers that we could help bring into it, as long as we don't scare them off. So
Yeah.
because there's a lot of fear mongering to help get into preparedness, I think. So
Yeah. I had a conversation with a neighbor the other week where they were considering even making the front garden, because we have a lot of unused space in our front lawns in California. And they were
yeah,
thinking using their front yard as just a community garden. I was like, that's an amazing idea. Imagine what we could do if more people did that, right? And I think the last couple of years have really given us a taste of how extreme things can get pretty quickly with just a very fragile logistics channel and supplying our grocery stores. And that's just one facet of things to be conscious of. But I know a lot of places and a lot of areas of our country felt that. Granted, we didn't feel it as much on the West Coast because we're blessed with a million ports, it feels like, but there's people
yeah,
in the middle states who really felt that and continue to feel either the price hike or bare shelves. And so just the simple notion that you can contribute to your family's nutrition by having a garden and a root cellar and understanding, learning a little bit through trial and error. I think if we just normalize that, we would collectively be in a very different situation and our conversations would be different.
yeah, totally. I see some people are recommending various things in the chat room. Who said that on doing on a dime? I'm a big fan of doing on a dime. Actually, sent her a Christmas card, but she does a lot of organization type videos, and she's really taken off. It'd be cool if Do It on a Dime became a prepper channel, but
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Cool. I was kind of curious on the name Mother Prepper, on where that came from. I had some fun making the thumbnail for Instagram where.
Oh, you have no idea that, like, I was so excited when I saw that because I knew I could hear
surprise Mother Prepper.
I could hear that exact clip, and I was like, Cliff gets me, man. He gets me.
Yeah.
It was funny. It made my day.
That's awesome.
So the people that kind of know me in real life, first of all, I was raised in the Bay, and that doesn't really go away. So I like Mother Prepper because I felt like it was just really close to my personality, which, as you can tell, there's times where I'm a bit fiery. I get it, but I'm Filipino and I'm from the Bay. It's what you get. And so I really just enjoyed the play on the name. And I felt like it was kind of an homage to my upbringing and my personality. So it's always fun when I hear it and there's, a play on the name, like the graphic that you shared. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's perfect. So I'm having fun with it. I didn't even expect for it to really stick that much. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to change it because I need something catchy, and it stuck, and I've been enjoying it ever since.
Yeah, I love the name, and the first thing I thought about, I was like, oh, I'm going to ask her to see if she wants to come on the live stream, and I knew right away that I was going to have Sergeant James Dokes from Dexter do a little shout out to Mother Preppers.
Oh, that's perfect. I'm gonna have to make that like my my answer tone if that's still a thing. Yeah. I think I'm dating myself a little bit, but yeah, I'm gonna have to make sure I record that and put it somewhere.
Oh, someone had a good suggestion on Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, make Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh my God, Samuel L. Jackson is perfect.
Oh, see, some people are there's little some compliments coming here. The most beautiful of all preppers.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Stimplin.
That's awesome.
That's very nice. Mark, I thought I was pretty beautiful, but that's not. I lost my title. She's feisty, y'all. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Thank you.
Are there any kind of, you said that you're Filipino, and I'm a half-breed Puerto Rican. So, and some of the preps that I have for food preps are Puerto Rican cuisines. I was curious, in your emergency food preps, do you have any Filipino style food preps that might be unique to the preparedness community?
Yeah, well, I'm half Filipino and I'm half gosh, European. There's my mother's side has a mix of really some really great lineage. So I am mixed also. So I try to incorporate as many different flavors of things that I'm saving. I definitely probably have a bit more adobo based items in my preps than the average person, and so just being able to understand what like different seasonings would work with meat that I'm either freezing or keeping buying in bulk and then separating out. But Filipinos, we love salt, so there's a lot of salty foods in my preps. I have a whole thing dedicated to Spam, and I know it's not the best nutrition wise, but God, there's so many amazing things you can do with Spam. So I love it.
That's the go-to prepper's meat, I think. But I don't know about Filipino cuisine, although I like lumpia and some other those things. But I think Spam with like Hawaiian dishes, I know with Spam and pineapple are awesome.
Oh yeah,
I think so, and I think that'd be a good ad for anyone's food
yeah,
preps. But
totally.
we stock up. My wife always gets mad when I buy the Spam because
the Spam. She's like, we have Spam. We have too much Spam. I can hear that because I like that's my husband too.
Yeah, so but I like Spam, but she doesn't care for it. My kids actually like the Vienna sausages and the Spam, and if I throw it in like a top ramen or something, they think it's
Vienna
good.
sausage.
So,
those things are little tubes of magic, man. They're so good.
I know a lot of the health nuts with that.
Sorry.
I was gonna say I know a lot of the health nuts probably they don't like the Spam. It's not healthy, or the Vienna sausages because there's probably too much salt. But I think they're good.
So. Yeah, I mean you need like 5 gallons of water after you have either Spam or Vienna sausage. You should really hydrate because of all the salt. Yeah. But it's good stuff. And listen, if things hit the fan, you're not going to care what's organic. You're going to want that high caloric intake. So let me tell you, it's going to work. Spam, you're going to like it.
Yeah. This is from let's see, where's it? Cross Canyon's readiness. Spam. Oh, I lost it. Spam will replace gold as the currency. I saw that. There it is. There it comes in.
I believe it.
That's so dystopian currency. I think you're right.
You and I were wealthy because we got all the Spam.
Yeah. I don't have too much Spam, but I think I have like I have enough to get by for if we could eat Spam every day for probably I don't know 4 months, I guess 4 months of daily Spam, I think. So
daily Spamage. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And then the Vienna sausages are really good. My daughter likes just eating those straight out of the can. It drives my wife crazy because she thinks they're disgusting. But
my daughter does too. It just must be a lot easier because I don't understand it either. Put it on a plate, but it's good stuff.
Yeah, she calls them baby hot dogs.
Baby hot dogs.
That's they are. Actually, everything for her, like when we have breakfast sausage, those are breakfast hot dogs, and then the Vienna sausage are baby hot dogs, and then there's normal hot dogs. That's what it says. So. Cool. There's all sorts of comments coming in. I'm trying to keep an eye on those and Spam and the powdered eggs. Yeah,
Spam really riled everyone up. So,
yeah, they really. Tis the season, I guess. Is anyone doing a Spam dish for the holidays, for Christmas or Christmas Eve or New Year's? I'm curious if there's Spam dishes out there.
Hey, that's
someone's asking, is ramen really
Spam and powdered eggs? I haven't tried the powdered eggs yet. A good couple friends of mine have the Harvest Right a freeze dryer, which I'm super jealous. So if you have one, oh my goodness, I'm so jealous. Yeah. But I haven't tried the powdered eggs before with Spam. That sounds like a good idea to try. It's I think a good food prep challenge.
Yeah, I have a few number 10 cans of powdered eggs, but I think the Ova Easy powdered eggs are the best ones that I've tried, and you could get those at some of the grocery stores. So, a lot of we really hit up the chat room when we talked about Spam. So.
I'm cracking up.
Really good.
Definitely the launching pad here, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. They're asking, is ramen really good for you? Probably not, but it's something my kids eat. They'll guarantee to eat it. Like and they're kind of picky. So,
like ramen just reminds me of college. Ramen was like food in college. I still love it. Don't get me wrong, but some good times with ramen.
I was figuring we could probably answer some live Q&A with Mutha Prepper. If you guys are just tuning in live, I'm talking with Mother Prepper right now. Surprise, Mother Prepper. We're talking with Mother Prepper right now. And, Mother Prepper has an awesome Instagram channel, also on YouTube. But I think the YouTube channel, you're still kind of you're more doing the Instagram and TikTok style, but we want to get the YouTube going as well. I think because that'd be a lot of fun. But make sure that you go over. Yeah, so go over to Instagram. I have links in the description box for both the YouTube channel and for the Instagram channel. And Mother Prepper's Instagram channel is one of my favorites of all of Instagram for prepper channels, because the way that she presents the preparedness stuff she's Mother Prepper is the gateway drug into getting into preparedness. So she presents it in a way that's fun, that's accessible, that's modern and current, and it's like, again, it says a mama from the burb could prep and plan. And a lot of people in the chat room are saying that Mother Prepper is a little spicy too, is what I think that's the word that is being used. So if you want some spice with your preps, make sure you visit Mother Prepper.
Thank you. Yeah, let's do some questions. Yeah. I'm all about it. Let's go.
Cool. I'm just going to start clicking them. Let me see if I can do it. This is what is a good powdered milk to store?
Honestly, when I
Double J.
What's up, Double J? I don't have a brand preference. When I kind of started gathering like powdered milk, because I have a toddler at home, so I knew I wanted to have that on hand. I really just grabbed store brand because it was plentiful, it was within budget, and if you turn it over, a lot of the things are very similar in ingredients, and so whatever fits your budget and your preference. So that's kind of my answer, which doesn't help. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we don't have too much powdered milk, but we do have enough to get us by for a little bit. I like we have a few number 10 cans right now. I think the ones by Nutrient Survival, which is a newer company kind of in the game, their powdered milk is pretty good and it lasts for a long time. So I actually did a video a couple weeks back on, we try to go with the normal milk and we freeze it and just make sure that we have a good stash on hand. But for me, the powdered milk that I like right now is the Nutrient Survival number 10 can. So
I'm about to try it. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, I like it. Let's see. Man, the chats are coming in quick. Let me see if I can find where I was at again. Okay, here we go. Let's see. This is from Sophia. What do you guys think about sharing with starving neighbors? I imagine this isn't a grid down scenario. This isn't just normal starving neighbors. So.
I think that's a great question. So I think the earlier you have the conversations with your immediate neighbors to start a community, just to kind of either understand what they might be prepping or where their skill set is, to kind of, seed the conversations to start the community beforehand, before things hit the fan. I think if you have, an incredible surplus, I think part of building that community is being able to share what you're comfortable with. This is a very personal question that everybody's going to have to answer. And there are some cases where if the situation at hand is dire enough, we probably won't even be here. I think most preppers are planning for two scenarios, whether they're going to, stay here and hunker down or get out of Dodge. And so you may not even be home to share with your starving neighbors. And I think that's one of the scenarios you have to just plan for. But I feel like if you are able to start a community conversation earlier, like who's growing what, who has livestock, who has, what skills, I think that is really great grounds to build a strong community before things even hit the fan. So it does take a little proactive pre-work, but I feel like the rewards there are really great.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's good to know your neighbors and to start building the relationships now, so it's not a surprise during a real emergency situation, a grid down style situation. We have relationships with all our neighbors, and some of them started off on the wrong foot, and I had to. When we had one neighbor that hated us for a while because of some yard thing, but I eventually won him over by buying him bourbon every Christmas. So that's
there you go, bourbon.
So he's actually due for his next bottle of bourbon, and now we're good neighborly friends. But I think it's good to. Seems like all the neighbors in our neighborhood, they have various gardens, and some are really good at growing. Some have a bunch of apple trees, and some do onions, and some do blackberries, and some do and we oftentimes just kind of trade and exchange things now during normal times. And I think during a real emergency situation,
Yeah.
we would probably do the same thing. It'd just be a little bit different. So
Yeah.
that's a great question, Sophia. Rapid fire Q&A. We're doing rapid fire Q&A with Mother Prepper. So if you have a question for surprise Mother Prepper, put him in now. This one is from Revolver on the Road. With her being from the Bay, what would her plan be? What would her plan to be when SHTF, bug in or bug out?
That's a great question. So we moved from the Bay on purpose so that we would, one, just kind of be in an area where we felt like it was much more kind of where we wanted to plant roots and have a family. So luckily I'm not in the Bay, and I'm only saying that in the sense because if you live there or in a congested city in any place, it's going to be extremely difficult to get out in a panic. Think about just traffic in general, what that's like, and then times a million, because it's going to be, anytime things are kind of dangerous, whether it's climate or there's, things are hitting the fan, it's going to be panic. And that's sometimes like the worst part of trying to get away. So I don't live in the Bay anymore. And so our evacuation plan and backup plans are a lot easier. But what my message would be is if you do live in a congested area in a city or places where it's a bit tight to get out, to have planned, as many evacuation routes as possible, and and maybe even go so far as to burying caches and things of what you will need along the way to get to your endpoint. But having a plan and being able to know what routes you're going to take, what ways to avoid the freeways, because it's going to be gridlock. I think that's going to be super helpful. So these are all great questions. And I say that because these are all questions that we should be having with our family members so that we're starting the conversation earlier and making a plan before things hit the fan. So I love that question. And it brings to light a very real scenario for people who live in big cities or just congested areas or places where there's not a lot of roads. We still have a lot of rural areas where they don't have a lot of paved roads. And if it's snowy and it's terrible conditions, that just makes it even worse to try to get out.
Yeah, totally. It's a great question and great answer too. So this one is from Playing Good Chips. What does Mother Prepper, I love saying it, Mother Prepper. Okay, Mother Prepper do to increase her knowledge and approach to prepping?
Honestly, and this has been my favorite part about this entire journey, is I turn to the community. So it's a combination of, what are already published platforms for preparedness, whether it's a, well-known blog, or whether it's, being able to take specific survival classes that are already in existence. But a lot of what I learned personally and the encouragement and to try new things and encouraging myself to try new skills is through the prepper community. I feel like that has been the biggest asset to this entire journey, is just everyone's willingness in this community to see me thrive as both an individual and as somebody who contributes back to the preparedness community. So a lot of the tips and the new skills that I've picked up in the last couple of years have been learning through what my peers are doing in this space. For example, canning. Now, I have not started canning. Well, let me just set the bar there. However, I have started to revamp my garden, and with all intentions to have a surplus of produce in the next grow season, which means I'll probably have to start canning and preserving that food after the harvest. So I'm super excited, but I'm also super nervous because it's something I've never tried. And it seems like there are a lot of steps and a lot of recipes, but through the encouragement of, the OG7 and the preparedness community, I'm excited. But that's just one part of what I can be doing as an individual to become more self-reliant and prepared. So my short answer is the community. My long-winded answer was another elevator pitch. So sorry.
Yeah. And I think Rogue Preparedness, who's watching, another one of the moms of prepping,
Yes,
said you have great
awesome.
elevator pitches, perfect elevator pitches. So,
thank you, thank you,
yeah, and canning is super fun. That's been my thing over the last year and a half or so now, and it's we really like doing it. So there's kind of related to that the preppy redhead, which is an awesome name. Mother Prepper, what are your skill goals for 2022? Should we say that canning is a skill goal for 2022
Yes.
then? Or?
So canning is definitely a skill, and so Kimmy is one of our OG 7 members. So she was one of the 7 when we first did a collaboration back in September, where I felt like I really didn't have a close knit group that I could turn to. So she's awesome. So canning is definitely one of them. One of the big projects that I'm working on at home is revamping my garden side. I kind of did like a first year of growing. I built raised garden beds because they're really expensive for raised garden beds. So I built them myself and I really enjoyed the process and it was a lot of fun. But I realized really quickly that the beds I have and the space that I was utilizing was much too small for what my plans were. So I've used the fall and winter to try to revamp the structure of my micro homestead so that I can really get in the groove of gardening. Because I know that in itself is a journey. So I'm sure for 2022, it's going to really humble me trying to garden in my zone. But besides gardening, it's canning. And from a personal perspective, I'm always trying to develop situationally, like my situational awareness. I feel like is an ongoing effort that I personally have really taken to heart to just be mindful of. So I am really excited to see how I develop, through the next year. And that's everything from just being aware and encouraging other women to be aware when they're out and about in people, because you never know. And it doesn't have to be just people who might, be out there trying to cause you harm, whether it's, carjacking or something like that, something wild, but it could just be being aware of, the changes of weather and being aware of the situations around you. If, you're in an area where cars are going faster than they should be, are you a safe driver? Are you paying attention and being aware of that? So, I'm just full of elevator pitches today, so I'm going to have to simmer it down. I'm sorry.
You're doing awesome.
Cool.
Super
Thanks.
pro. So, cool. As you were talking, I was trying to get the YouTube channel up there too, because we want to. I know the YouTube videos are a lot of work to do, and I know that time is of the essence, especially as a mom as well too. But these elevator pitches are you're just hitting you're batting 1,000 right now. So I think that
I appreciate
it'd be fun
it.
to have a video there. Man, there's so many so many different questions coming in. Again, we're doing rapid fire questions with Mother Prepper, and so there's some people talking about the freeze milk. Yeah, you can.
I was just gonna say it's not really rapid fire.
Yeah, you can't freeze milk. Yeah, it's we're deep, but yeah, I recommend freezing them in the cartons, not in the plastic ones. That's what we do, and I do them on the side. So, but you can definitely freeze it. You get an extra month out of it if you freeze it. But I find that the Costco organic cartoned milk has the longest shelf life. So, some people, let's see, I'm way behind on my on the charm stuff. Oh, this is a great question. Who did this? Oh, Plan Good, you have good questions. So, as a prepper, are you worried that your notoriety will make you a target if SHTF?
That is always a concern. Especially I talk about, so I'm no pro at this, but as I feel like I'm growing and learning with my community, that's always something that I have to question. So with every post, it's, hey, I know I want to share this message and I feel like there's really great content behind it and the awareness, but am I compromising my safety? And so I try to remain very conscious of what I post. If I do post that I'm at a specific place, obviously I will make sure that I'm no longer there before posting it. But also I don't talk about certain topics so that it doesn't kind of make me more of a target. I try to keep it very light and focus on things that I feel everybody would gain knowledge from, whether it's like gardening or, self-defense and taking that to be your responsibility. It is something that is always on my mind. With every post and every story, I have to make sure, could I be compromising my safety by posting this? Am I saying too much? And I feel like anybody who contributes to, the internet of things has that also on their mind. So as people are sharing great stuff on Instagram or YouTube and any platform, I think pausing and just asking yourself if you're sharing too much or whatever, if is it compromising what you would be comfortable with people knowing. As long as you're able to answer those questions, I think you're in a great zone. So it's a tough question for sure. I'm sure you feel the same way sometimes.
Totally. Yeah, I think I mean, you kind of, by sharing all this information, on one, you're helping encourage new preppers, but you're also putting yourself at risk for guys that subscribe to your YouTube channel or subscribe to your Instagram channel. So, yeah, it's definitely, I worry about that. And I try to be as safe as I can. I don't post too much personal information and so, but if someone wants to find you, they can. Hopefully, they don't. But yeah, I think it's something to be concerned about because if 99.99% of your subscribers and people that watch your videos are cool, there's that 0.01 that might want to take your stuff. So, and you just have to be kind of prepared for that.
And that's also, just to add on that, that's also the reason why I feel like it's important to have a plan of bugging in and getting the hell out of town, because the situation, like the emergency situation that we all commonly think about, sometimes it may be that somebody, you have an awareness that your location is compromised, or what you have is kind of out there, and now you're a target. So having a plan to hunker down and also leave, I think, is important. Those two scenarios.
Totally. Here's a burning question that everyone's been wondering right now, and that is, do you watch Cobra Kai?
Cobra Kai. I have, and man, there's so many good memories that come with that show. My husband's a huge fan, and so it's fun to watch. Some of it I have to think back, like, oh, I got to rewatch all the movies to really get this joke, but most of them are really cool. But yes, I do watch Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I think the new season's coming up pretty. Yeah, it's a great question. I think is that Johnny Lawrence asking the question too to us? It looks like it, the photo. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Cobra Kai. My kids like Cobra Kai. We're actually rewatching Cobra Kai now to get ready for the next season of it.
Oh,
and
nice.
I think it's awesome, and I love the throwbacks. It's the 1980s style references.
I love it.
It's just hilarious. So, a lot of people in the chat room have been asking about what is Mutha Prepper's EDC, and so I think it's time for that time of the video that we do a EDC check. So
yes.
If it's not on your pocket, what is your EDC that's within reach right now?
My favorite is my Glock 26. I don't know if we have a lot of Glock fans here, but that is definitely my favorite. But beyond that, I always make sure that I keep my flashlight. This one is my Streamlight Micro Stream. Rechargeable batteries are a big hit for me, so I like this one. Actually, I'm saving up to get the Stiletto Pro, which is the EDC flashlight of my dreams. It comes at a price tag, but I'll get there. I'll save up points to get that one. And then California law is a little tricky sometimes with concealed knives, but I have this one. This is my Boker. Oh, I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's a nice stubby little one. But this is my everyday carry, and it matches the OD green matches my Glock 26, which is fun just in itself. But I always make sure that I leave the house with those items, and that just is part of becoming. That's just more of my personal, situationally aware kind of initiative that I've really taken seriously in the last couple of years, because and you have children, so I think the big driver of that is, has anyone here lately tried to strap a toddler into their car seat? It's insane sometimes, especially if they don't want to get strapped in. And so immediately you're already a target because your back is turned, you're in a parking lot, you're not paying attention. And so that alone is something to be conscious of. So I make sure that I have those items with me out and about. But and then, that's besides the items that I have in either my car kit, or, if we're traveling any distance, we always make sure that we take our bug out bags too. You never know.
That's awesome. Sorry, I'm going through the chats as we're going right now, and there's a lot of EDC type.
I'm kind of read stuff too. You guys
yeah. For the 26, I'm always interested in like the female prepper, as far as how like their holster that they use for it, like because sometimes it's different than the ones that that the guys use. Like what holster are you using for the 26?
I have a tier 1 concealment holster. Oh, geez, the name of it is escaping me, but it doesn't come with the extra mag. And that just is easier for me to conceal. And then I've been working from home for the last 2 years. And so I live in leggings. I know leggings for a lot of people are not pants, but and so, carrying in leggings is tricky. Carrying in general for women is tricky, but there's a concealment belt, and the name is escaping me. Geez, maybe you guys can remember in the chat, but it helps me carry without having to have pants that have belt loops. So I'm really, really liking that as an option. And I know there's a couple tier 1 fans and Glock fans. I'm like, woohoo, my people. So I'm still learning how to carry. I only, really started making that a serious thing for the last, couple months. And so I'm learning. I would love to try some other holsters and other means of concealing for women. The options now are so much more than when I first started looking, whether it's, some people prefer a belly band. Some people prefer the concealment band that I was talking about, but there's a lot of options. So I'm excited to see. I'm like reading some of this with you guys.
Cool. A lot of people are talking about the. Yeah, I'm reading it too as we're talking. So it also says they're a tier 1 fan, tier 1 holster got here.
Yeah, tier 1.
They're talking about California knife laws.
Yeah, it's.
Someone was asking, have you served?
Go ahead. Have I served? No,
sorry,
I did not have the pleasure of serving. I did not have that honor. Okay. And if you served and you're in the chats, thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. And thank you for all that you do.
Yeah, I come from a family that served, but I never served. But both my grandparents, my dad, and others too. So yeah, so thank you for watching if you did serve. So as Mutha Prepper said, so, tier 1 is top notch brand, folks. Yeah, that's from Can.
Tier 1
crossed cannons ready. There we go.
Love it.
Oh man, look at that. Is that your tumbler?
No, I don't know if it counts because I have like 14 bottles of water in any given time in my house. It's a sickness. So if you're like me and you just put, my husband can always tell what room I've been in because I just will leave water bottles everywhere or glasses or just coffee cups. It's pretty bad.
This is leggings are like tighter pajamas that are Walmart and post office certified. That is hilarious. This is the first time we've ever talked about leggings in the history of my channel.
Okay, that's a new one.
Cool.
I have not thought of it that way.
I don't own any leggings myself. I have various thermal underwear and stuff that I like. So
there you go.
I've been getting into bike riding lately and I've been building out a bug out bike that has a certain set of supplies on it. And so the closest thing I have the biker tights with like the padded butt crack. I don't know.
Yeah. How are you liking it? Is it comfortable?
I used to make fun of it, like about the whole idea of that, but now it's like mandatory for me to use that because it's
I'm sure you're like, hey, joke's on me. It's actually quite comfortable.
Yeah. I apologize for all the years that I thought that I was clowning the bicyclists for wearing those because now I see why. It's they're mad. That's an EDC item for cycling. So
yeah.
A lot of women prepper channels are shout outs here. There we go. Try prepping. Welcome. Says your husband's lucky to have you. More people talking about the leggings.
Comfort concealment belt. Sorry. There we go. Thank you, Tim. It's the Comfort Concealment Belt, which is an awesome product. I think it just makes it a lot easier for women and men to conceal. So if you're the type of person who just really lives in basketball shorts or just something that doesn't have like belt loops, I think it's a great solution because it just, and I think for me, the biggest thing was I don't want to have to buy 15 different holsters for different ways to have to carry. So it lets me use my own holster, which has been pretty nice. Thank you, Tim. I was like, what is it? It's escaping me.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm doing these streams, I can't, like, there's things that I know, but I can't get it out in my head right away. So I like the crossbreed super tux or mini tux. I think those are nice ones, but
Oh,
those are
cool.
belt require the belt. So I was just taking a look at the YouTube. Let me see if I get back on the screen really quick. So I have a few different monitors going over here, so I'm trying to figure out where I'm pointed to. But
Oh no, you're fine. Full disclosure,
this is
my
still on the
YouTube is
Instagram.
under construction.
It's under
It's not.
construction. So should we
Yeah.
have people go there now to subscribe to it or not yet?
Whatever you're comfortable with. I will post content
Okay.
as I get more well versed with how to
all right, everyone. If you're watching, if you're liking what you're hearing from Mother Prepper, and I imagine you are liking it, and if you're already subscribed to Mother Prepper on Instagram, make sure that you go to Mother Prepper's YouTube channel. It's under construction, but let's start getting the subscribers there now. I just posted a link in the chat room. It's also available in the description box of this video. And go ahead and subscribe. You could say the Urban Prepper sends his regards or something like that. And let's get the subscribers over there to Mother Prepper because I'm looking forward to those videos coming out too. In addition to the Instagram and the other ones too. So, or it's not the Instagram, but the TikTok.
No pressure. No pressure to put content out on
pressure. No pressure. Not at all. Yeah, I just kind of browsing through here. Yeah, so I knew about your garden because I've been watching it on the Instagram. And
thank you.
Yeah, is this over at Haystack?
Sorry.
Was this over? Is this a Haystack? Is this in Oregon?
No. That one you click. That's in Hawaii. I think that was a trip to Hawaii.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So
Very cool.
we did a 12 days for preppers. And I mean, all the collaborations I've been a part of have been so awesome. And I've met so many amazing people through just connecting with people and sharing a lot of what's happening. Oh, sorry. That is Eastern Oregon. One of the pictures. I was like, which are we talking about? But my garden.
There's a nice little collage going on right now.
Yeah. There's a lot happening in that post. Oh, cool. My kid.
Awesome. Sorry. I was just, I don't think I saw that one. So I got distracted. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
We go back to the split screen here really quick. Sorry about that. Yeah, my computer's running really slow, so I imagine the little slow. Okay, how long have we been going for? We're doing pretty good. Okay, I think we still have time for more questions, I think. So if you want to get your questions in now, Christmas is approaching, New Year's approaching, and if you have Mother Prepper, a fan of Mother Prepper from Instagram and also most recently from YouTube, get your questions in now because I'm trying to go through them as best as I can right now. So let's see. I don't know if this is a question, but this is a nice comment. Let's see. This is from April. I don't think many prepper tubers focus on community building. A single prepper with 10 ruffles can't do much, but a community can. Yeah, I think that what we were kind of talking about earlier with knowing your neighbors, I think is along this line. So yeah, it's lone wolf. Yeah, some wolf has to sleep. So.
I think it goes beyond just knowing your neighbors, but building relationships with local, farmers, local ranchers, being able to have a way of being able to get food sourced that might be local to you. Because if you haven't felt the bare shelves and the inflated prices from your local grocery store, I don't think we're going to see relief from that anytime soon. And so if you have the opportunity to build relationships with people who, raise livestock and is able to sell them directly, one, the food is just always better if you're able to get, closer to the source. But if, I would recommend reaching out to your local community and nurturing those relationships so that you can build your community as you go. And it's not just limited to your neighbors. It's, it could be people, along the way to where your evacuation point is. It could be, again, I know I mentioned local farmers and ranchers. So there's a ton of opportunity to build community and build relationships, because you never know when the time may come where you'll need to lean on the people that you've built these relationships with. And I think we get a lot of the lone wolf preppers that you might see on Instagram or YouTube, and it definitely pays to be self-reliant and, you know, being able to take care of yourself. But for the reality of people like myself, or I have a family, that's not always, you know, that is not as simple as it seems. It's a lot more complicated, because there's, you know, young children in many cases that you might have to prep for. So that was me on my soapbox about building community. I hope it makes sense.
Again, you're batting 1,000. You're doing great on this.
Thank you.
I thought this was kind of a cool one from Austin Summers. This is, what is your favorite prepper meal? And, my favorite, I'll go first. My favorite is I like the Poor Man's Meal from Great Depression Cooking by Clara from Great Depression Cooking. It's basically potatoes, onions, and hot dogs, sliced hot dogs, and it's like what they used to eat what her family used to eat during the Great Depression. And I think it's we have in honor of Clara from Great Depression Cooking, I have a stockpile of specifically for the Poor Man's Meal. So
I love that. I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah,
I don't have a fancy backstory to mine. Maybe homage to my grandmother. Yeah, it definitely is spam. Man, you read my
I saw someone was doing a shout out to organic spam. I think that's a conspiracy theory. Whoever said that. Someone's lying there.
Oh yeah. So I would have to say mine is definitely homage to my Filipino side, which is spam fried rice. So nice. It kind of has everything for me. So not the most nutritious. I'm sure we all know that, but it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Yeah.
I need to have some more the spam with pineapple dishes for my preps. I don't have enough, but I could do a little bit, but I should probably do some more Hawaiian style.
We should.
Yeah, really we should. Spam. If you like this live stream, make sure you throw a little kickback over there to Mutha Prepper, because we're shouting it out like none other. This is a cool question over by the preparedness guy. This is, what has been your biggest no-duh lesson learned? Something that you thought you should have known but didn't. That's a great question.
Yeah, that's a great question. I love the preparedness guy. He's got some amazing content.
Yeah, preparedness guy's awesome.
Yeah, he's great. And his reels are funny. They're so funny. So sorry, that wasn't your question. So to answer your question, I think my biggest no duh, and I felt so silly because I hadn't thought about this before when I first started my journey. I severely underestimated how much water people need to survive. And I know in your, like, the road to preparedness, water is a key, is a critical aspect of this entire thing. And so I'm over here thinking like, well, we each got our water jug, we should be fine. No. So you just trying to understand how much water is really necessary for a person to survive, under what conditions, being able to understand what are the methods of water purification. If you're able to find a local source, or if you're finding stagnant water, what do you do? How do you treat water? Everything water. And I remember I was like up to like 1 a.m. just in this rabbit hole of online pure water purification. And it's something that I feel like we all should, take time and learn if you're not well versed, because water is absolutely critical. But when I first started learning and my preparedness journey, I quickly realized how not prepared I was in terms of water, and being able to make sure my family had enough of it and knew what to do if we ran out. So that was a big eye opener, and I felt so silly after that. So I was like, oh my God, we need more water.
Yeah, in Washington, like I know all the preppers I know in California, like city prepping and other, they're always the water is the main one, and just kind of realizing how much they really need to have on hand. In Washington, it's probably raining right now, so it's more about like, do I have multiple ways of filtering it and purifying it? But yeah, I think that's a great question. The preparedness guy, and a great yet again another great answer. I thought this is a cool question from Cross Cannon's Readiness. Any idea how California's recent generator ban will affect you?
Yeah,
I didn't know about it. I didn't know about the. Actually, I heard a little bit about it, but I don't know too much about it.
Yeah, I want to make sure I choose my words productively here. I think it's very compromising for a lot of people, because I'll be honest, I have a solar generator that my husband and I, we saved up for. one, I mean, it wasn't specifically because we saw a ban coming. It was more of, hey, if we need power from a renewable source, which was preferred for us, what would we do? And also, if we needed to flee, how can we take our power source or a generator with us that wasn't going to give away our location and wasn't dependent on gasoline? So that's the route we went. That doesn't work for everybody. That is not an option for a lot of people. I think my mind goes to, the great freeze of Texas. For a lot of people, the people who had generators were fortunate that they had a heat source and a power source, and there were a lot of people that weren't, for a huge state like California that has, definitely a need for generators, not just in emergency situations. I'm kind of sad to hear that. Honestly, I know they're still available for purchase. This is totally not what I would recommend everybody consider. But if it was me, I would just have one for the sake of having one, because I'd rather get in. It's one of those things where it's like, ask for forgiveness, not permission. If the power goes out and I need a power source to keep, or a way to be able to power a heater to keep my family alive, the answer is very easy. So, I think it's sad to see. I understand. No, I was going to say I understand the reasoning. I don't fully, but I would say if you have the opportunity to secure one for emergency situations, I would recommend it. Whether it's a solar generator like, what I have, or it's a gasoline generator, or, even something that, runs on, is fueled by a different method, having something is much better than being without in these situations, especially if you live in compromising areas where you are susceptible to, natural disasters, whether it's fast moving fire like we have in our area, or flooding. I mean, your area best. And so you'll know what you would probably need if those situations became severe.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally trust a gasoline or propane power generator much more than I do like a solar power bank or anything like that. And it's really unfortunate that people are being handcuffed on with what kind of preparedness measures they could put into place for life-saving things like that. So yeah, I don't. I'm picking my words carefully too, but yeah, I think what you said as far as asking for forgiveness might be the way to go for that. So.
Yeah.
With so much talk about California, I knew this question was going to come up. Have you ever considered leaving California?
Last representing, that's a great question. I believe he's in Texas, which I think a lot of my prepper friends are. So hello from California. Yeah. I am holding out hope that things will get better in California. I don't know if that is just grasping at straws. I feel like there is a lot that's happening. I have thought about, leaving California, not just because of like more what's kind of been happening in the last couple of years, but just as a means to own larger land, like larger plots of land or acreage. It's really not an option. It is, but for the common folk who make common folk salaries like I do, it's not really an option to own a ton of land and cultivate your land in the way that you would in some of the other states. And honestly, we have such a beautiful landscape in some of the other states that I have not even seen yet. So, I love my home state. I'm very proud of my home state. She does some things that I don't quite understand sometimes, but I am holding out hope that it's going to be for the better. But I have definitely considered other areas. And so if you have recommendations, please send me a message, because I went to Kentucky recently for my husband's birthday. It was the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, which is what he wanted to do. And it was awesome. And I was like on Zillow the moment we landed. So if you guys have recommendations of places to check out, please send me a message, because I'm open to all suggestions.
Awesome. Yeah, I know a lot of there's a lot of preppers I know in California, but there's even more that I know in Texas. I know a lot of people, but awesome preppers there. So This one, this was a question that I was curious. I'll ask this one, but that Earl stole it for me. This is: are you the sole prepper in your home, or does your husband have prepping skills too?
Oh, I get this question a lot. So I'm usually the one leading the like prepper initiatives, and thankfully, I'm blessed with a
Yep.
husband who's whatever makes you happy, hun. Let's do it. Yes. So, and I know that's not always the case, but I also feel like that is me in return for his. He's a big bourbon guy, bourbon collector. So I'm like, whatever makes you happy, hun. Let's do it. And it serves a purpose for bartering in, you know, in emergency situations. So it's a win-win for me. But you know, you know, my day job, I work in, you know, project management space. So I feel like that's just part of who I've become as a person. I enjoy the planning phases of it, and I enjoy trying to understand as many risk events that can happen, right? And so being able to map out all of the possible scenarios and risk mitigation avenues, I think, is fun for me. It's probably not everybody's cup of tea, but it's usually me leading a lot of the prepper initiatives. But I'm pretty blessed to have a spouse who understands how important it is and understands how being prepared and where we are in this journey of in evolving is important for our family. So, and I know that's not the situation for everybody. I've heard of scenarios where the spouse is actually really against it, right? Because it's, you know, you're doing a lot up front. You know, it seems like it's an expensive thing. You're buying more food than maybe you need. It can create conflict in, you know, the home. So I don't really have a recommendation for those instances, but it's for us, it works out really well because it's a benefit for our family long term.
That's great. Yeah, I think for most preppers that I know through like YouTube and through online, I think there's one person leading the charge most of the time. But there are a few like couples preppers, couples that prep together or something. That's a nice situation. I think I lead the charge for most of the things in our home, but my wife definitely has things that she leads as well. Like she's big into the canning right now, and that's been her big thing. And we have canned stuff all over the in various nooks and crannies,
Yeah.
all hidden all over the place. So I think we have time for a few more questions. I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know it's holiday season. You have some family stuff to go, but maybe I could take a few more. I saw that Dare Moy has been asking a question about like knowledge to sustain the equipment you have. So I think overall this person was asking about kind of the skills to upkeep your equipment, and that's one thing that I've been thinking about a lot with regard to like a lot of the shipping things that have been halted through shipping or delayed, and so I've been trying to get enough auto repair supplies that if I wasn't able to go to get my vehicle into the shop, would I have enough supplies to be able to maintain it and repair it if need be. So that's been one of the prep projects that I've been working on. But I don't know, do you have any I imagine most people don't have the knowledge to maintain everything. They have
Right.
to rely on someone, but it's what are your thoughts just overall on like prep maintenance?
Yeah, I think it's a very great question. I think it's important. So, I like what you were saying about the vehicle because you want to be able to know how to make repairs if need be. And even if it's more of the common stuff, you'd be surprised how many people don't know how to change a tire, change the oil. It's, you know, it's a real thing. So I love that idea. I hadn't thought about that as my go-to answer, but I feel like for me, as my husband and I are, you know, buying more gear and being prepared and buying things that we know will help us along our preparedness journey, it's important for me to schedule time to check on my gear and test my gear. And what I mean by that is, you know, there's a lot of people who, you know, for maybe have tents and sleeping bags and, you know, a solar generator in my case. They buy it, they don't need it right away, and it kind of just sits there. And so I feel like if you are investing time in your gear and building up what you have in your inventory for, you know, whether it's outdoor stuff or just, you know, emergency situations, it's super important to test your gear, make sure it works. There have been times where I've gone to go test a piece of gear that I have that I bought it, I didn't need it that time, and it sat there for 6 months just to find out that there was, you know, a manufacturing defect. So um, make sure that you are scheduling time to not only rotate your preps but to check your gear. You know, it could be as simple as, hey, finding out your walkie-talkie doesn't work. which is huge because comms is a big component of being prepared. So schedule the time to rotate your food, your gear, and test everything, because you don't want to be in a situation where you're going to need to depend on it. And we didn't do the, you didn't do the due diligence to check it and make sure it was ready to go.
Yeah, totally. Again, batting 1,000 on all the answers.
Thanks.
This one cracked me up.
Spam, guys. Send me spam.
Does your husband know that you're going to barter his bourbon? That's a burning question here from Last Prepper Standing.
I've said it. I think he thinks I'm joking, but it's one. Remember, ask for forgiveness, not permission. It's a win-win.
That's funny. I think bourbon will just go up and up in price. It's like so I think it's a good prep to have. Like especially if you have like a case of bourbon that you could use for bartering purposes. I think that's a good way to go. So, well, it looks like very folks are basically saying they're asking you to move to their state, so they're talking on their state's behalf. So.
Thank you.
A lot of people are giving various Christmas wishes to us, which is very cool. So,
awesome. Merry Christmas, guys.
I guess. Yeah, so I guess to wrap things up a little bit, what's coming up next for Mutha Prepper? Like what should we expect from the Instagram channel and maybe on the YouTube channel and maybe on the new TikTok one?
So many.
Talk a little bit about what you're going to be all over the place.
Oh gosh, no pressure. I am very much super pumped about building up my micro homestead. I've doubled the space of my growing beds, and I'm getting chickens. So that was another thing that I probably wouldn't have taken the leap in starting without the support and the encouragement of the prep community. So I'm getting chickens in California, y'all. So it's gonna be very different for me. I've never had chickens, but I hear great things. So I'm excited for that. I have some really exciting products that I've been testing from some awesome companies, and so I'm excited to give some reviews on that. But even just being able to share things that I've learned, and whether it's prep hacks, like I didn't even think of buying honey in bulk and putting it in a glass jar till I saw, Miranda from Our Busy Acre do. And I was like, duh, that's important. I don't want.
Yeah, I'm stealing that one because of you.
Yeah, because you don't want honey sitting in plastic for however long you're storing it. That's genius. Put it in glass. Yeah. So, little things
that's one of those, whoever asked that question on the. Yeah, someone asked earlier about what's one of those questions that, oh man, why didn't I think of that? And then I remember seeing it on your Instagram. I was like, oh yeah, that's why didn't I think of that? And a few years back, this is another kind of those ones that, yeah, why didn't I think about doing this? So.
There's a wealth of knowledge in the prep community, and I'm so excited to just be a part of that. And I feel every day that I look, I feel like more and more people are diving into their own journey of preparedness, which is awesome. So I purchased a dehydrator recently, and it wasn't like anything super crazy. It was just a really cheap version of a dehydrator, and like that thing's been pumping out stuff like nonstop since I've unboxed it. So little things just that I'm trying. Those are the marshmallows. My daughter calls them crunchy clouds. But
I never thought about like dehydrating marshmallows.
Have you not had dehydrated marshmallows?
No, I haven't. I think I'm missing out because sometimes they're included in the packets, but I've never thought about doing our own. Let's
make them yourself. They're so good. Have you had Lucky Charms?
That's awesome.
That's
what I was thinking. Like I can make my own Lucky Charms.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of stuff. Let's see. It sounds like we're having a buffering issue, I think, with the audio because that's a little delayed. But YouTube's trying to shut us down. They don't want to have too many. YouTube's trying to say we don't want normal preppers talking with each other. Looks like you're doing some spinach here too, maybe. So
shadow band.
Oh, cool. Okay, let me get back on this little screen over here. Okay, there we go. All right, folks. Well, we've been talking for a while. This has been my special I wanted to make sure that we talked before Christmas. I just thought it was the time to do it. And I'm so happy that you were able to come on the live stream. Again, if you're not already following Mutha Prepper on Instagram, go over to its links are in the description. I've also included them in the chat room. Go over to Instagram and follow Mutha Prepper. Also go over to YouTube channel, subscribe. We're hoping that Mutha Prepper will start doing some more videos on YouTube. And in addition to, I think the TikTok is on the way too, because she already does TikTok style videos. But just the wealth of knowledge that Mother Prepper provides on Instagram is well worth a follow. And it's stuff that's going to be very accessible. It's going to be something you could share with your family and friends, and it's not going to scare them off, which I really appreciate. And we need more. We need more Mother Preppers out there in the world. And on top of that, it's a fun name to say too. I love saying Mother Prepper. So
perfect.
Well, cool. I know there was a lot of chats in the chat room that we probably didn't get to, so we hope that you don't get mad at us if we didn't get to those. But if you have a burning question, make sure you leave it as a comment in the comment section, and I'll try to get to them if I can. Maybe Mother Prepper will as well, and we'll try to answer some of those ones if you're watching the rerun or if there's a chat that we weren't able to get to. But yeah, Mother Prepper, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the live stream.
It was a pleasure. It was a ton of fun. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you guys for participating. And most of all, thank you for all that you do for the prep community. I would not be here if it wasn't for people like you and Cliff contributing and sharing knowledge. So thank you.
Yeah, it's a really great community that we have, that it's able to collaborate with ideas with each other, because not everyone in our day-to-day lives is into prepping, and they don't care about moving honey from the plastic bottles to glass jars, or dehydrating marshmallows. But here in our community, we're all into that. So I think it's a great outlet. So.
Thank you so much.
Well, great. I hope everyone has a happy holidays for all the Jewish preppers out there. Happy Hanukkah, for Merry Christmas, and hope everyone has a happy New Year too.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Let me see if I can send us out with my cool branding. Here we go. Let me see if I can actually press the right button. And not yet. I'm gonna get it, man. I'm gonna get better at this. All right, cool. All right, folks. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, and again, follow Mother Prepper.